What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the farm. Hey, today we are going to go over a few things that we need to know for when our calves are born in our front pasture. And also go over some of the tools that we picked up to make it just a little bit easier. Let's get to work. Behind me, you'll see Ellie and Violet, our two bred cows. They are due any day here. What happens when they go into labor, or when they have the calves out here in the pasture? To answer this question, let's go back to the shop. All right, so these are some of the essential tools that we need to have on hand, ready to go once the calves hit the ground. The first thing that I want to talk about is our tagging system. This is our identification numbering system that we will use to collect data. We'll use it to identify our calves in the field. We'll also be able to identify who is a heifer and who is a bull calf, or in our case, a castrated male, which is a steer. This will help us do it all. So first we have our tags. I got them in red just because it's my favorite color. I know that there's probably a lot brighter ones that are easier to see, but these will help us identify. I also bought a marker. I'm gonna go ahead and write the farm name on the tag, as well as who the mama is on the back side of this, just so we know, and our data syncs up that I have on my phone with what is on the tag. And obviously we need a tagging tool to be able to apply the tag in the calf's ear. So this will help us do that. This is a Z-Tags brand setup here. Obviously, I've done a little bit of research on it, and it just seems like this is a good user-friendly application. I've used an ear tagger before, and I couldn't remember what brand it was. It was super easy to use, but this reminds me a lot of it. So I'm gonna go back to this setup for us. And next we have a calf scale weight tape. This is incredibly important for us as we start to collect data out here on our farm. Basically what it is a tool that we wrap around the base of the hoof, where the hoof meets the hairline, and it will tell us, based on the gender of the calf, how much it weighs approximately, just so we have an idea. We can make that data log, and then when we get to the end of our processing, we'll be able to tell if there's a correlation between birth weight and finish weight. It gives us a great starting point for us. And then obviously once we take them to the processor, if we don't get a scale out here, we'll be able to tell, like, hey, this is how much weight they've gained over this period of time. The next tool that we have here is our castration bander. This is just one of many ways to castrate your bull calves. I've always cut the scrotum and removed the testicles from the scrotum. Quite honestly, I've never had an issue with it, but it is pretty hard to do, especially when you're in the field and you may be worrying about a mama, you may be worrying about the calf, especially if they're a bigger calf. If you don't catch them, within the first 6 to 8 hours, obviously it could just get really messy to have a sharp knife on your hand. So without the proper equipment to work them and be able to cut the scrotum and remove the testicles, I went ahead and went with the banding tool. These are great. What you do is you open up the band and you stick the testicles through it, and then once you release that band, it actually cuts off the circulation of the testicles, and eventually over time they'll just fall off. It usually comes with a lot less neurological trauma to the cow, which at that early in their life, it's not a huge deal to castrate them either method, but this is just the one that we went with because it's a little bit easier on me. And then I went ahead and picked up some iodine. This is super important, especially when you're working calves in the field, because the umbilical is gonna be something that's exposed. You also have your ear tag hole. You can treat with iodine, you can treat with antiseptic lubricant, just so there's no infection. The biggest thing about working these calves in the field is once we work them and we get them kind of acclimated to their mamas, we're gonna move them into the back pasture where I don't have eyes on them every single morning. So for us to be able to treat the umbilical first, and then also to treat any nicks or scrapes that they may have come out with, just gives us an awesome opportunity for us to treat with something that's going to keep those clean and keep infection from happening. One other thing that we're going to have when it comes to these calves hitting the ground is a oral gel called Optimizer. Optimizer is an excellent oral gel that fights against scours. So scours is a leading cause of death in calves. So to be able to treat them early and to be able to catch them before any of that progresses is super important. But it was suggested by another YouTuber that I watch, and I enjoy the heck out of his content, Sunny Farms up in Vermont. But I saw him using it, did a little bit of research on it, and realized how little of an investment that you can make that could change the outlook of your operation if you use it, and just keep your calves as healthy as possible. So that's on the way. It will get here hopefully before the calves hit the ground. There's so much more that we could buy to be as prepared as possible, and there's also about half of this that we could probably part with. Obviously we want to be able to identify them, we want to be able to castrate them, but there are a couple things that I am doing for my preference and based on what kind of data that I want to keep. Right now I'm going to go hop on the mower and mow. It's that time of the week to mow. Maybe after that I'll give you a closer look at the girls and maybe see some of those characteristics that I'm starting to see develop that will indicate that she's about to calve. So I'm gonna go hop on the mower. I'll see y'all here in just a second. Hey, so new day, new me, as they say. It is Thursday, the day before I post this video, and I was looking back on the film that I had and realized that I did not finish this video. It has been a very busy 2 weeks for me here, and there's not a whole lot to do out here on the farm. So I'm gonna see if I can get these girls' attention with a little bit of food, and it's not working. All right, I think I got Ellie's attention. They're both looking at me now. So the first thing you're gonna see was them walking up, and you can tell they are super wide. They are ready, and I am fairly positive that we're gonna have calves on the ground here pretty soon. Let me show you a couple other things that I see. So one thing I'm taking a look at is their bags. So as you can see on Ellie, her bag is still not very full. That's one thing that I'm looking at, and let me show you the reason why I say that. Is because if you see Violet's, hers is starting to fill, and the pouches are starting to get bulged right there by the teat. That is the first thing. But this young lady, she is bagging up, and she is super loose on her back end. As you can see, it's jiggling when she walks. That is just indicative of her muscles starting to relax, and their bodies naturally do that when they're about to give birth. This is a better look at her bag. Her bag is starting to fill. It's starting to get bulged up. I'm sorry, I didn't get your consent. So my guess is Violet's gonna go first, and then probably Ellie later on in the month. Another thing that I'm looking at is their water consumption. Daily, these two girls usually can drink down that 100-gallon tank of water. They'll drink it down to about a quarter full before I fill it again at feeding time. And here recently, probably in the last 5 or 6 days or so, it has been almost empty when I go to feed them. I actually filled this again at lunch today, and it is currently 4:30 in the afternoon. So I noticed that they're starting to take in more water. Both of their back ends are starting to get loosened. The bags are starting to fill on Ellie, or on Violet. The bags are starting to fill on Violet. And I actually kind of noticed a little bit of a bag change with Ellie. But those are just kind of little indications. I'm not a vet. I'm also pretty new to this. I'm pretty new to owning cows. So I'm just going based off information that I learned and that I've studied in my experience. So that's gonna do it for me. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight on what I'm looking for when it comes to our calves, and also what it looks like when they hit the ground. I'm super excited to get to experience this, and I'm super excited to bring you guys along with us. It is so easy to get ahead of yourself when you are doing anything in your life. For me, we got super ahead of ourselves. When we lived here in this RV, we were always thinking about the house. It captivated our lives. It captured our emotions and our thoughts. It made us super in a hurry to get to where we are now. And now that the house is built, I can officially say we were in a hurry for nothing. Although we love our house and we love the space that we've created out here on this farm, sometimes when we get in a hurry in life, we tend to miss the little moments. We tend to miss the emotional parts of living life. And I just want to encourage you today to slow down. Of course I want these calves to be here. Of course I want to buy more cows, and I want to start a business, and I want to scale businesses, and I want to grow. But I know that I have to take it day by day. One thing, if I could go back and change it all, would just be to take it day by day, living in this RV. Take it day by day when it came to watching my daughter grow up, watching my second daughter grow up, and spending time with my wife, and spending time with my friends. Take it day by day. Don't be in a hurry to get anywhere. Enjoy the ride. Because once it starts going fast, it goes fast. Sometimes it feels like you're just strapped in for the ride. And I just want to assure you that you can hit the slow down button. You just have to stop being in a hurry. So I'm going to leave you with this. I hope this video was informative. I hope it was encouraging, and I'll be the first to tell you I'm not a vet. I'm not an experienced cattle rancher. So if you came to this video for what to buy, what to look for, it's a good video because it's a culmination of many different products that I've seen, but don't take it by law. And if you have any suggestions, shoot them my way. I'd love to have them. Hey, thank you so much again for watching. We appreciate you. And like we say around here, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and then we've got the crossroads. We'll see ya.